Hello, you lovely, lovely people. Welcome back. I've been to the dentist yesterday, which I've uploaded the video. Not about the dentist, but oh God, it's swollen up all around here. I had a wisdom tooth out, and I've got stitches here. Anyway, can't complain. It was painless at the time, but now he's not painless, I can tell you. But that's besides the point. See, I'm sat here with pain doing a video for you. Regular guy, and a regular guy sent me a message as well on the previous video I did, but I don't think there's anything on it. I really don't, people, honestly. I mean, you watch his videos, his latest videos, and he hasn't got a care in the world, and he's taking his time and he's doing this. So I really don't think, my humble opinion, if it's worth anything, that there is anything going on apart from the persona non grata, which again is just that. It's and if there was, I think the time to tell will be when Scotty boy, if you're watching this, Scotty boy, is when you go to renew your visa, mate. So when you go to renew your visa, if they've got anything on you, this is when they will probably pull you in or something like that. But I mean, as you said in the in the message that you sent us on the previous video, that you've been under investigation for the last 3 years. 3 years. An investigation for what? No one seems to be clear on what these investigations are of, because if it was as serious as what some are saying, then this investigation wouldn't be dragging on for 3 years, would it? It would be done and dusted, I would imagine. Well, maybe not done and dusted, but something would have happened. And as people say, the Philippines legal system is slow. Not when it involves certain things. It's not. Of course, it's not. They will be on people like a ferret down a rabbit hole, wouldn't they? They would. So I mean, I've got nothing against anything about this, because we can all make judgments, but how can we make a judgment when we don't know what the allegations are actually of? And I know the Belgian guy's been saying this and saying that, but I mean, is that true? I don't know. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it's not, but what I am saying is, I don't think there's any substance in what's going on. And there's a lot of people who don't like a regular guy. There's a lot of people who do. But that's besides the point, if you like him or you don't like him. The point is, facts and evidence. And regular guy, so blasé, Scotty boy, you're just travelling around, you're doing this, you're doing that, and riding with no helmet, boy. Riding with no helmet. And there's been a lot, you've took a lot of stick for that as well. I haven't got a motorbike no more, so I'm in this car. I don't need a helmet. But, Scotty boy is entertaining for a lot of people. And he is entertaining for a lot of people. I used to watch him a while back. And all of the videos that I did see, and this was a while back, okay, I didn't see anything sort of untoward. Now, I know many of you watch all of his videos, and like a lot of you have said, there was some things there that was untoward. But I think by talking to women here is not untoward, unless maybe the tone of your voice or the things that you're saying. But I mean, just to say hello, good morning, you're good looking or something like that, I don't think that would warrant any investigation for that. But from the investigations that have said that's been going on, is much more serious than that. And like I said, if these were as serious as that, come on, people, the law here is strict on women and children. It's mega strict. For an example, for an example, foreigners can't be left alone, or we shouldn't be left alone, according to the law, with people that are not in your, minors, if you are not related. I don't mean my son, he's my son. I can be left alone, I can go to school, I can do this, but I'm saying if you're not related to a minor here, you know, it's not a good idea to be, you know, they say, oh, just take care of the kid, you know what I mean, it could be your girlfriend and it's not your kid. Something like that can even fetch something against you. Believe it or not, it's true, people. So the allegations that were made against Scotty Boy, what people are saying, and I think it's all hearsay. I think it's all just blasted out of proportion. Like I said, I got nothing against him, anything like that. He's never done any wrong to me. I've never seen the videos that everyone are talking about because apparently he took them down. I don't know. But Scotty Boy is capitalising now, and I don't blame you, mate, really. I mean, to be taking the stick that you're getting, I think anyone would be capitalising on it. And maybe people like myself is capitalising on it to a degree by talking about you on here, because you got a lot of followers, you got a lot of subscribers, you get a lot of views. And of course, anything about you will bring views to the person who's making the content. So I suppose the YouTubers like myself is getting clicks through that. But the point I'm trying to make is I just think you're running free and single, Scotty Boy. That's what I think, you know. And you aren't in no hurry to get out. You know, I don't even know where you're going next. No idea. I don't think you know yourself. You just keep flitting around here, flitting around there. You're everywhere. You're everywhere. So I think, before anyone can call judgment on something, there's got to be not just hearsay, and not just from a single guy who's saying he's got this on him, he's got that on him, whether he has or he hasn't. But I think the time will tell is when you go and renew your visa, mate. I think that might be something where something might come of it. And I think as well that when you've got a persona non grata, I would imagine that council, municipality may have sent something to the immigration, may have done. So it could be on file there, and it might be a little red flag. So when you go in there, they might pull something up. I really don't know. But, I think to accuse anybody of something without concrete evidence, especially as serious as that, is, I don't think it's a good thing. Like I said, it's a serious allegation that someone's making. But the only thing that stands in my mind is, if this was true, then you'd be out of here. You'd be out of here. You wouldn't hang around and wait to be picked up. And you wouldn't hang around to be put in because if you're charged with something like that, it's not just a case of you being deported. You've got to go through a whole legal process. You've got to stand trial. And that can take forever. It can take forever. And the way that I'm looking at it is, if this was a serious allegation that had some substance to it, it'd be behind bars now. And the investigation would be going on while he was in prison, not running around here, running around there, because the authorities wouldn't let that happen. They simply wouldn't let that happen. So take it with a pinch of salt, I think. Take all this with a pinch of salt. And also, just changing the subject a small bit, but it's still regarding foreigners, is the vice governor of Negros, Dumaguete way, that way, is cracking down on foreigners, on misbehaving foreigners or something like that. I was watching a video of that, was it yesterday? And there was a clip of this governor saying it, and fair play. I mean, if you come here and you play up, then you deserve the consequences. It should be like that in my country. It should be like that back home, but unfortunately it's not. Unfortunately, the guests in the UK, let's just say that, get more privileges than the citizens. It's arse about face, isn't it? So, when we start talking about the injustice of this country, look at the injustice of the bloody England, for God's sake. We have so many immigrants coming in there, and they're getting this, they're getting that, and then you get the normal citizens who are pushed way back on the queue, at the back of the queue, waiting for their little help from the government. So here, I think they've got a good system in the way where they protect the citizens first. Now, whether they go over the top on that, I don't know. But at the same time, you know, they should be also helping the foreigners here, meaning making it a little bit safer. Like, you know, for the scammers, you know, the people that do scam the foreigners here, you know, they should be held accountable for that. You know, not just the foreigners held accountable for shouting in the street. I'm just saying something like that. You know, when a Filipino has scammed a foreigner, then they should be held accountable. Or when they've made a false allegation against somebody, they should be held accountable. I don't know, it's just my way of thinking, people, you know. But like I said, if you've got nothing to hide here and you just keeping your nose clean and you're blending in as best as you can blend in with the white skin, you're going to have no problems as such. Or the problems that you might have might be unavoidable anyway. One of the biggest problems that I can see here for foreigners is riding a bike or riding a car on the road. Because you have an accident, 9 times out of 10, you will be the one that's blamed for that. Regardless. I had an accident, but I was lucky. There was CCTV. And that was brought out. And the police actually said, yes, you are in the right, sir, to me. And this Filipino guy was in the wrong. But without that CCTV evidence, I would have been in the wrong. Even that I was in the right. So just be careful if you're riding a bike here, people, or you're riding, because you don't want to go to clink and you don't want to be paying extra money than what you should do just to, you know, keep the lid on things. So just be careful what you do, people. Anyway, regular guy, whatever you do, mate, stay safe and wear that helmet. You got to wear that helmet. You know, you aren't setting a good example, people, for the people who's here, for the expats. And of course, the police will see you and they'll think, another expat, here we go, another foreigner, you know, taking the piss. That's it, people. This is a very quick video on that. And my tooth is absolutely going ballistic. It's done, and it was an extraction of a wisdom tooth. So I don't know how many stitches I've got here, but I've got to go back. What day is it? Wednesday, isn't it? Wednesday or Thursday. I've got to go back on Tuesday, next Tuesday, and have a look at it. But I've got antibiotics and pain relief. But dear me, I can even feel my eyes starting to close up. So if you've seen no videos from me for a few days, you know that I'm laid up. And I've got a face like the Elephant Man. So listen, people, stay safe. Whatever you're doing, try and do it well. And most importantly, stay healthy. Thank you, people. Bye-bye.